Hey folks, welcome back. As promised, we are back with another segment with another business professional, business owner who is very, very well known, I think, around the country, and she knows anything and everything that has to do with bookkeeping, and she is an expert in that field. So, Miss Noura, welcome back to the show. I'm happy that you're back with us again.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be with you again, Rick.
Absolutely. Every single time that you're on the show, we have a great conversation, and we always end up learning a little bit more every single time that you're on board. So we appreciate your time and your knowledge when it comes to bookkeepings and having all of those books nice and neat so that when it's time to file taxes, everybody has a better time. Not that it's not that
Yes,
it's
yes.
no.
I mean, like this is a prerequisite, right? Prerequisite for taxes.
I know, and that's what I was going with, that, the beginning of the year must be a really busy time for you, right? I mean, I guess maybe the first quarter of the year is a very busy time for you. But one of the things that we're doing differently, Nora, here is that we're providing you at the beginning of the segment an opportunity for you to showcase you, your company. Where can our listeners, our viewers get in touch with you so they can jot that information down and potentially get in touch with you. So tell us a little bit more about you and your company.
Oh, sure. Thank you. So my name is Noura Almasri, tax and accounting professional. I'm a tax advisor. So technically, I help business owners stop overpaying in taxes and keep their hard-earned money with them. I established Noura's books back in 2021. Mostly, like I get so inspired talking about taxes and helping you keep your money with you. So I do everything around that, including bookkeeping, CFO services, budgeting, KPI measuring, everything you can think of. Obviously, tax season is now, and you want to make sure, like I always do a lot of educational things to remind people of the deadlines, and we can help clients with all deadlines they can think of in tax and accounting. And
Awesome.
they
All
can
right.
connect with me at nourasbooks.com/contacts.
Awesome. Thank you for providing that information. We certainly do appreciate it. One of the reasons for this show today is to kind of educate all of those folks that have been in business for a very long time, and then at one point they got so profitable they said, you know what? Maybe it's time to give back to the community. How about we build a nonprofit organization and help their communities around our town, around our city, and be more connected with the community? So, Nora, believe it or not, I had a conversation with a good friend of mine who decided to do just that, became successful, decided to give back to the community, so decided to create a nonprofit. So when I asked him about his tax strategies between the two different entities, one is obviously for profit and the other one is nonprofit. And one of the things that he said to me was, I did not know that there was a difference. And I said, oh my God, you need to talk to my friend, Ms. Nora. So this particular segment, I want to talk about exactly that, because there are many companies out there and many individuals decide to do the right thing and help the communities and reach out and give back. But how do we do that strategically, particularly when it comes to the tax strategy point? Because there's a lot of people that are not educated on this. So tell us a little bit about the major differences in tax strategies from nonprofits versus for-profit businesses.
Sure. So technically, when it comes to nonprofit, you want it's tax compliance, but you can benefit from having a nonprofit within your overall tax plan. So if you have a business and you want to start a nonprofit wing or any type of nonprofit, you want to know something, it's a great tax strategy to have a nonprofit beside your business, because technically you can donate up to 60% of your adjusted gross income every year to a nonprofit, and that's going to reduce your tax liability. So, who's going to donate 60% of their income to, and just any nonprofit, right? It's a lot. It's more than a half,
Right.
but you may want to do that for your nonprofit, or you have up to that. So you have what we do with the clients. So usually I do a tax analysis, make sure, like, give them all the strategies they can it's available to them to benefit from the tax saving. For example, if they have a nonprofit, or if they wanna consider a nonprofit, or if they support a nonprofit, it doesn't have to be theirs. They want to support a nonprofit. They trust it. Like we recommend an amount to give to a nonprofit and based on how much tax saving they can save. This is just one of the strategies. This is one of the tax strategies, but it's a great strategies because it's a lot. You can save a lot of money. But of
Right.
course, like I always like recommend other way of income shifting, income distribution in a different way. And having a nonprofit is one of the income shifting strategies. Well, the only difference between nonprofit and for profit business is obviously you're gonna have a profit, but in and that you as a person or as a family, like you can benefit from that. But for nonprofit, you still can have a profit, but not for you. So it's for the business. It's tax free, but not always. So you have to make sure like you are not falling into the um, unrelated business income. So it's a wide subject. It's a lot to understand about nonprofit, and people don't realize that they get excited. They get excited to do the good, but they don't know about the complication and compliance and the work they have to do is often much harder
Yeah.
and more time consuming than just the regular for profit business, but it's very rewarding when it comes like to use it as a tax plan and a service for the community.
Sure. So this is the reason why we have you on the show, because you are the expert in this field, and you're enlightening a lot of people that are, wondering how to go about these things. And so thank you so much for being here and providing us with those insights. I want to talk a little bit more about the for new for-profit businesses. How do you guide those new businesses or your new clients that have new businesses in navigating tax laws and maximizing their financial outcomes, especially for those new businesses?
So yeah, often new businesses like they have to really make a budget to do their finances. Like a lot of people like they don't mind being a lawyer, they don't mind paying for marketing, but they forgot a very important thing, which is finances, accounting. This is the piece that's gonna help you grow. So if you ignore it, you're gonna lose a lot of money thinking that you are saving money. And that's what I help people understand, like you're really not spending money when you put it in tax strategies and your bookkeeping, a good bookkeeping, because there's a lot of services that are not good bookkeeping. And you know that from the pricing usually. If you price shop, I guarantee that you do not have a good service and probably you're doing your book wrong. And therefore your taxes are wrong. So I try to explain to people this fact because if you don't know, you don't know how who to pick to help you, what to look for. So one of the things I make sure to talk to my audience, to the people who ask about the information on tax and accounting, I make sure that they understand the difference and what they have to be looking for, and to prioritize doing tax strategies, to prioritize doing the bookkeeping, because you can't really utilize tax law, you cannot really benefit from the tax law if you do not have an organized book, good numbers, in order to make sure you have all the deductions, and not only all the deductions, all the other strategies that makes you money, because like deductions eats your money. You don't just want to deduct just so you don't save, you don't pay in taxes. You want to make sure you are keeping your money. So that what I try to help people understand.
When talking to the right people, to the experts, we can get the answers that we are looking for rather than just listening to a bunch of people that are just telling you things, from left to right. But my next question for you is basically the question that a lot of people have in their mind. We are in a new year. This is 2025. It's not 2024 anymore. And there's got to be some tax law changes. There's got to be some new things that are happening. What are some of those tax law updates or changes that business owners, both nonprofit and for profit, should be looking out for that's completely new and is, catching people off guard?
So technically what we have to do now with the 2024 taxes is already on since last year, the standard deduction, everything, but usually like they update the standard deduction like every year, but you don't have to worry onto that like when doing the taxes for last year. But moving forward, like you need to have like someone to work with you on updating you with the tax law, especially now. Think no significant change like everyone needs to worry about right now, but you want to watch out because we're going to have a new administration, and I'm
Right.
sure soon we're going to have a lot of changes. So we want to keep an eye on that and don't just listen to news, work with a tax professional to make sure you have updated and see how that new law is going to apply to your situation, because not everything is going to apply to everyone, and you want to make sure you interpret the law the way it should be. We're expecting a lot of new laws now, like with the new administration.
Yeah, and that's where I was going with my question. I know that, we've got to take care of 2024 and those tax laws, but 2025, especially being with, a new administration coming on board, there's going to be tons of changes for a lot of people. And there could be good changes, there could be challenging changes, or perhaps not so good changes. But that's just, the way that it rolls, and we have to have the right people in our court to help us and navigate through those things. And so, Noura, we have come to the end of this segment, and it feels like every time we have a conversation, it goes by really quick because we learn so much from you. So thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate you, and I can't wait to continue this conversation because it's going to be challenging for a lot of folks, and we need you to not make it so challenging.
Of course, thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure to be with you as always.
Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for being here. All right, folks, we have come to the end of this segment. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay right there. We'll be right back.